Carlos Rodriguez joins us as he does each Saturday on Property Source Radio. A longtime proponent of the little guy, is all your years in the Attorney General's office.
Thank you. It's great to be here today.
Yeah. Pat Coyne is with us as well, and Alex. Before we get into whatever you have for us, you told me before we began the segment today that you recently had a colonoscopy.
Yes, I did.
First one?
Third.
Third one.
Third.
Third.
What do you like them
The
or
first,
something?
No, I
pay extra?
I'm on a 5-year schedule every 5 years because the first one they found polyps, polyps.
Yeah.
And at a certain age, I think when you hit 50 years old, you have to require to get a colonoscopy if you follow your doctor's procedures. But the first time they found polyps, so he snipped them off. Everything went well. And now I'm on a 5-year rotation.
Okay.
Can I ask how old you are?
44.
Any family history of this sort of thing?
My dad's had the colonoscopy where he's had a couple of the polyps snipped off too.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone is. We've done this before because I'm a proponent of the procedure. The anxiety is worse than the procedure itself. We have the same doctor, by the way.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
His name is Dr. Sharma.
Dr. Sharma.
Wonderful man.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, we had him on my radio show Monday through Friday on the B when I had my last one done about a year ago. But they say if there's any sort of family history, Pat, that you should probably go in before you hit 50.
Okay.
And then if they, and again, because of the family history, you should have it done every 5 years. If you're found with no family history and no issues, you're good for 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have a triple whammy. I'm diabetic and all this stuff, so I'm a target. And in fact, mine, I had to do it at Highland Hospital, which this last one was fantastic. I mean, it was.
They got nice looking nurses there, or was that what's nice?
No, I didn't see any nurses. I mean, I was out. They give you some medicine.
Yeah, they give you
out.
great medicine.
Yeah.
Oh, I just
the biggest, the hardest part was the prep work the day before, which is problematic. I was starving when I got done, and went into a local diner and had a feast.
Sure. They recommend that, you do all this prep work, and what it does is it turns you basically into a funnel.
Yeah.
Cleans you out.
It does. Totally cleans you out. You lose 5-6 pounds.
Okay.
Which for a guy like me is a good thing.
Yeah.
And but again, the medication, you're in some sort of woozy la la land where you
I
never
don't remember a thing.
You never want to. You don't remember anything about the procedure, but you're in a great mood when it's over.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and especially when I got the doctor's news that everything went well. Yeah. The hard part was drinking that stuff.
Yeah.
I used Vita Coco. It's like coconut water. It was so sweet that I decided to just drink it with Crystal Light. But for some reason, my throat, every time I thought about it, it took me a while to drink that whole gallon.
And they tell you to drink the whole thing. And I remember my wife saying, I was convinced I have to drink every drop of it. And it turns out you don't have to drink it all.
Oh.
I don't know, but at 4 a.m, I had to get up and drink magnesium citrate.
Right, that's the stuff.
A whole bottle of it at 4 a.m.
Okay.
And that's like the final step where it really cleans you out.
I just want the hot nurses to rub ointment on me.
I don't know.
That's all I care about.
This is not 1875.
Okay.
There's no time to rub anything.
Well said. Carlos Rodriguez, Carlos in your corner, part of Property Source Radio.
I recommend everyone, everyone, male and females. No, my wife has
absolutely.
To go through
When Julie and I had my last one, we both went in. I got mine done, then she went in and had hers done, and it was her first. And we're both clean as a whistle, which is.
In fact, my wife is switching over to Dr. Sharma. He's so great.
He is gosh, women love this guy.
Really?
Oh yeah, he has an accent. He's tall. He's handsome.
He has like a British accent, though.
British accent.
Yeah. I figured he lived in England or went to medical school there or something, but he's very refined, very nice person.
Bedside manner, great. I mean, when you're going through something like this, you want someone who is at least sympathetic to what you're going through and has a great bedside manner. And he's
I can relate. My wife's definitely somewhat attracted to her cosmetic surgeon. She says he's a nice looking guy and he's got a nice bedside manner, and She basically said he could touch her wherever he wants.
From a medical standpoint, of course.
Of course, Steve. What do you think I am?
Well, I don't,
Don't be fearful of the prep for
No,
a colonoscopy.
no,
That's the
no.
biggest
Okay.
thing that turns people to not schedule it.
Okay.
And it's a great peace of mind when you get it done. I mean, you know that you've done yourself some good, and in most cases, you're done for 10 years.
I haven't stopped eating since
I'll
Monday.
bet. Yeah, he's going to have a heart attack now,
Yeah,
but
no.
he's
Yeah,
no
no,
colon
I-
cancer.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been starving ever since.
Wrapping everything with bacon, right?
Oh. I just taught someone the whole idea of wrapping a filet mignon with bacon.
Oh.
And this person, first of all, believe it or not, had never had a filet mignon.
Ooh.
Oh.
And then when I suggested to her that she wrap it in bacon, and she came back like I had just reinvented the wheel.
Really?
I had my first skirt steak.
Skirt steak, yeah.
Yeah. Tremendous.
I don't think I've had that cut before. Skirt steak.
Very tender.
Kind of like a London broil,
Okay.
sort of. It cooks pretty quickly in the grill. You know, they've come up with all these different cuts of beef now that never existed before.
Yeah. What is that? I mean, why aren't they the same thing?
Well, they're just trying to utilize more of the cow,
Okay.
Wow.
as I understand it. But yeah, oh man, you can't. I staked
I love
myself out
steak.
last weekend, Father's Day.
Yummy.
You have any heart issues? I mean,
Oh, I
it's turning into his
I'm
medical
a
chart.
walking, probably a walking medical lab. Yeah, I have heart issues.
Yeah.
I've had 4 stents.
Oh.
You know, and go through cardiology exams. And
Wow.
I have a great cardiologist here. One thing about Rochester, we have great medical care and treatment. I mean, I've seen them all.
Yeah.
Any medical scams that? I mean, and I'm kind of throwing you something you didn't expect today, but gosh, you would hope that there'd be no doctors who are trying to take advantage of people in a key situation.
I haven't seen any. I mean, there's always this Medicare,
Yeah.
Medicaid fraud issues with billing and stuff. But there was a case out of Canandaigua where it was called medical ID theft, where the girlfriend of the ex-spouse used the ex-wife's name to get medical care.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for surgery.
Oh,
And that's,
boy.
Wow.
That's goes on. It's one of the latest identity theft issues that are out there, and you have to be really careful. And that's why you go to the doctor's office and they request photo ID. That's one of the reasons why they do it to
Oh.
prevent medical ID theft.
Boy, stuff you never think of. You just
Yeah.
doesn't come to mind until you tell us about it.
That's one of the reasons.
Oh, and Julie had her wrist done. They did. They marked up which hand it was, which thumb they were going to, so they don't make a mistake.
Yeah, in fact, when the colonoscopy, they asked me, "Could you spell your last name?" And I was still okay that I didn't get the sedation yet.
Yeah.
And date of birth, and it's like matching numbers, and it was the verification procedure is unbelievable.
Including putting a big black X on the right part of the body that they're going to colonoscopize.
Oh, really?
I mean, they
Yeah.
get, so they don't, you never know. You
I
never
thought there
know.
was only one spot, but
Yeah, right.
one of the things that troubles me a lot is all these products that are sold for health reasons, and I'm just floored by some of the representations made of all these items. Like one is there was a colon cleansing item
I've
that
seen
you have to
them
put colon cleansing. I forgot what the name
Yeah.
of the product was.
Oh, remember the one on Saturday Night Live? What they call it? Colon blow?
Yes.
colon blow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it breakfast cereal? Yeah.
I just you see on TV that make all these representations about your cholesterol will go down and your
is that-
colon will be cleansed and all this other stuff, and
I've
I don't
never
really
heard if
fall
it's-
for any of those products.
So I don't know if it's good or bad. Have you researched to see if it's those things are not true, or I don't
Well,
even know.
actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because in order for these these sellers or whatever these products,
Yeah.
if they make representations regarding health, they have to do proper studies before they can make those representations, and I'm sure that a lot of these companies don't do that.
Okay.
And that's against the law.
Well,
to
you
make
look
these
at-
representations.
You look at a magazine and you see an ad for some new drug. And in the magazine, there's always 3 or 4 pages of fine print where it outlines some of the medical
Right.
tests that have been done, how you can find out more. If I would guess if you see a product advertised in a publication and it doesn't have 3 or 4 pages of documentation, chances are it's not necessarily been tested by anybody. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, you brought to mind a case that I was involved in at the Attorney General's office where this outfit from Florida it was called European something. They sold magnetic beds.
Oh boy.
Beds, you know how like pads, magnetic bed pads that were all allegedly magnets.
Okay.
And these magnets, if you buy one of these things, quite expensive, will help you with your arthritis.
Huh. Okay.
And we started getting complaints because they invited people to, the old country buffet, show up to a luncheon,
yeah.
free lunch. And then what they did was try to hard sell to sell you these magnet pads and, one of those things around your
Like the
wrist.
bracelet.
yeah. Yeah. I've seen
Do
those.
you believe those things work?
No.
Some people swear by it, but I do not believe in any of this magnet stuff.
I don't either. I just never tried it, never researched it, never.
When they sell it at the state fair, I think that's a pretty good indication that it's could be a fly-by-night operation.
But I did some research because other attorney generals were looking at this firm. They went from state to state and city to city, and according to what I learned, federal law requires these outfits before they make these representations that somehow these magnets in them, while you're sleeping, are going to relieve your arthritis. It's just unbelievable. They really have to have scientific, verifiable, studies, and this company didn't do that.
Oh,
They made
okay.
these wild it's false advertising.
Yeah.
It's just saying whatever you want to hear. You got a group, captive audience, and they invited seniors who probably had arthritis problems, and they sold them on this junk.
I think it would be uncomfortable to sleep on magnets anyway. I mean,
Well, I think it was padded. It was like a padded mattress.
okay. Yeah.
But quite expensive. They were over $1,000.
Oh, geez. No, I'd rather.
And then,
no.
they guaranteed, return if you're not satisfied. And when folks, were not satisfied, they never got their refunds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's the catch.
Okay. I've heard of that before.
Yeah.
And I guess it's safe to assume that if Medicaid or Medicare doesn't want to cover for it, then it's a pretty good hint that you're getting.
Hasn't
Now, you
been,
bring
hasn't been
another one.
proven.
Yeah.
The scooter, there's this recent scams how you seen the commercials, just get one of the motor scooters.
Oh, I've
And
often wondered. Yeah, Medicare will pay for it.
Nope, you have to have you have to go through hoops in order to get Medicaid or Medicare to pay for it. Really check it out. If you're a senior, need one of those motorized
The hover
scooters.
Yeah.
Make sure that you get all the paperwork, you get the approvals before you sign the dotted line in purchasing one of these scooters.
What does
Okay.
one of those cost? Do you have any idea?
I don't.
Thousands.
There are a couple, 2, 3. I don't even know what the number is. I
quite a
shouldn't
bit of
throw out
money.
a number. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
expensive.
they'll because I seen some of the ads. They'll say, "Well, little or no money out of your pocket."
Yeah.
Whenever you hear that term, be careful because, in my view, it's a lot is going to come out of your pocket, not little.
Okay.
Luckily, we have reputable companies around here. Our buddy Doug Westerdahl from Monroe Wheelchair has been on this show many times,
Yes.
and he kind of basically said the same
Did
thing.
he say the same
that
thing?
you got to be careful.
Yes.
I mean, no one's giving anything away. Let's
No.
face it.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
get medical clearance, and it's got to be really verifiable. I'm sure he said that before and you got to go through the hoops and make sure again to go through the hoops first before you sign the dotted line. Because once you sign the dotted line, you're hooked for the payment.
Yeah. A friend of mine really wants to buy one of those. Once he turns 55, he says he's never going to walk again. He's
Really?
just going to ride on that
I want to
thing.
get a golf cart.
I had one, and I regret selling it. I
Really?
loved it. It was
You
so
drove
much fun.
around in your neighborhood?
Oh, yeah. We used
Really?
to
You
drive
have
it
to
to
get
the-
plates and everything for it.
Not Pat Coyne. No.
Of course not.
No. I drive to the parade.
The rules
Wait.
do not apply to me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the
it's
way
fun.
I'm going, I'll probably need one of those scooters in a couple of years. Hopefully not, but
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like the golf carts are a lot more fun
Really?
than the scooters.
The
They can go
scooters, I
faster.
don't know how fast they drive though.
I don't think they go as fast.
Remember the Seinfeld episode where they had the scooter race? They were chasing Jerry up the street. Do you remember?
I remember that.
Yeah,
a long time
funny
ago.
one, funny
Yeah.
one. Well, we're going to wrap up this episode of this edition of episode, like we're Seinfeld. This edition of Property Source Radio. We'll be back next Saturday. We'll get you back to ESPN Radio. Of course, you can check out PropertySourceRadio.com. We catch up with all the guests we've had. You can find out everything about real estate rentals and home improvement. I like doing this show, and I'm glad that you like it as well. Thanks for joining us. Back to ESPN Radio right away here at Sports Radio 950 ESPN. Have a great weekend.